Hi guys and welcome back. In this lesson we're going to unwrap our eyeball. So let's first hide all the stuff we don't need, and I'm going to switch to UV edit mode and give you a quick introduction on how it's working and how to unwrap stuff. So what is unwrapping? Let's quickly go over this one. What you see is the standard spherical layout over here, which means that let me just ignore this all. Let me just show you. This one I selected is those triangles here. So if we want to paint the pupil or the iris, it's not really comfortable to paint this one here. So we need to unwrap it. So Cinema, imagine you unwrap an orange, for example, and Cinema saves those unwrapping coordinates, and we later will paint a texture in Photoshop based on these coordinates. And Cinema will then import the texture and step by step, using this kind of UV layout map, go backwards and wrap it again onto that object here. So unwrapping itself is a simple way to have human paintable textures for a 3D app and wrap it around more complex objects. The eye, for example, is the most simple one, except for the cube you can use to explain unwrapping, for example. Okay, hope you know what unwrapping and UV layouts are. If not, there's a special tutorial for that on Digital Tutors, a body paint tutorial, which is really great. I also did it at some time because I didn't know all the details here, and yeah, it was kind of really good to learn that, because many artists go to different programs and body paint itself can do a lot, and not having to change the programs and get the data from one app to another is kind of a really good thing. So let's get started. I will just show you the stuff, the important buttons here. So let's get started by showing you these. Those are the buttons you normally see over here. So you got object mode, polygon mode, edge mode, and vertex mode. You can select the vertices and you see them over here. This is the UV layout we have right now. So the one thing you can't do is select stuff over here. So we got special modes for those. So you can select them directly, the UVs, and you see them over here. And if I move or scale them, you don't see any change, because this is not the actual geometry. It's just, as a reminder, it's just the map we are changing, right? Okay, so here we got a UV mapping tab, and here's the entire stuff we need here. So those are the most important UV commands, like maximizing the UVs. You have, for example, here part of a finger or something. You just click here and it's maximized. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm not going over it because it's a little bit too advanced for the beginners. And over here we got the transform tools. You can move or mirror things by just scaling them to -1, for example. The next thing is the projection. For example, you got, I don't know, let me just check it, I'll show you something. We got this one here, and we want a spherical projection on it. Or we can, for example, use everything and do different projections, like the box projection or the flat projection, which is always flat. And finally we got the frontal projection, which is the camera. And this is really cool, because imagine we want to draw the pupil, for example, and we just move it like this, and we have the pupil over here. So we want it to be planar as possible. Another thing that's really good would be the orthographic view, like this. And imagine we are going to need it and use it. So we got this one here. We can move it with the move and rotate controls, and I'll even scale it. And we're going to relax it. So this is the main unwrapping thing. And if you're unwrapping a gift, for example, you have to cut it somewhere. So this is important. Cut select edges. And we need to actually select some edges to cut, to know where Cinema wants to cut or should cut, for example. I would like to cut here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here, double click, so we get a loop. And on the back side, I would like to get rid of the triangles. Those are always messy. Control and right mouse click and move to deselect there. And we need to get rid of those because it's looking like a German car trademark thing. So let's just get rid of those. Here we are. If we would have kept the disk, let me just stop it. Let me just get rid of those. And even one more. I'm checking the. That's it. If we would have kept the disk, it would have also cut it there, and we would have an extra extra UV here. So we don't want that. We want one mesh without any cuts or seams possible to see. So this is mainly the thing we want. So Cinema will cut there, cut out this one, cut here and there. So let's switch back, select everything by pressing Ctrl A and just hit relax. So this is what comes out, looking good. We got the iris here without distortion, and depending on what you are unwrapping, you got different modes here. So LSCM is like better for cubical or mechanical objects, and ABF is better for organic. I tend to use them like for clicking 4 or 5 times, switching, clicking again, and switching, clicking again. So this gives me personally a good example I can live with. So let's just add and get a bit of extra space here. Okay, this is looking good. And yeah, that's mainly the unwrapping. In the next lesson, I'm going to add materials and texture, the whole thing. I will show you a nice little workflow I set up between Photoshop and Body Paint, and how you can really crank up your texture skills there. Okay, see you in the next lesson.